Hi, all you SPMEs out there. Today's video has a question that has 3 answers, and you're going to want to stick around because the third answer is a secret as to the one mistake that many authors make that costs them so much when it comes to choosing where to publish their books. Now, let's get into it. The question that was asked today was where to sell your self-published books in 2021. Now, this is a very common question that I hear a lot because when you first get into it, you write your book and now we're ready to put it onto the market. But where on the market should we put it? There are just too many choices. We have Apple Books and Kobo and Draft to Digital and Lulu, Ingram Spark, Kindle, KDP, ACX. There's just too many options available. So as you start to research the different options, you come to some conclusions, which is, well, this is good for this, and this is good for that. And many authors, and some of my students even, are tempted to not publish anything because they spend so much time researching all of the different options. And that is what we're going to clarify, what works for 2021 in today's video. So stick around. This is Chris Baird from selfpublishingmadeeasynow.com, where self-publishing doesn't have to be so hard. Click the subscribe button if you'd like for me to make more videos like this one. It's a way of you telling me this video is helpful to you. And check out below in the description, and you can grab a copy of my absolutely free self-publishing checklist to make sure that you aren't skipping any of the steps you should be to make as much money off of your books as possible and to get them published easily. So let's get into it. For my own story, when I first started, I started with the distribution route, Kindle Direct Publishing, so using Kindle. I had read a lot about it. I realized that the formatting was not so difficult as paperbacks and a lot of other things, and audiobooks, obviously. So Kindle was clearly the right choice. In fact, I was amazed to discover that even just using a Word file, you could literally just upload it, let them use their cover creator, and you have a book on the market in seconds. So not that that book would make any sales, but it's an option in terms of the ease at which you can get your book onto a market in front of a lot of people very quickly. So that was what I started with. But I began to learn in forums that I was in and later on courses and such that went through these issues that you should not be sticking with just Kindle. So I moved over to paperback books, even though the covers and some of the formatting can be a challenge. Now I use for the covers, the covers, you should learn how to do that yourself in Photoshop or GIMP. But in terms of the formatting, that was what I started using was Uto, which you can find my affiliate link in the description below, the exact program I use to do the formatting of my, I think we're up to 195 books or something that are on the market. So that's the piece of software that I like to use for that. But I began to understand that, yes, and then audiobooks, and how exactly do you go about doing that? Because these people were saying they were making a lot of money off of these types of books, and I wasn't making that money. So I moved my books over to the paperback versions, which at the time was CreateSpace. That's in Amazon Senses, calls it KDP Print now. And then ACX audiobooks. And it took a period of time to discover how to do that. Initially, I was splitting the profit with the narrators until I discovered I can hire narrators to do it at a much lower price. And I could make a lot more money if I just pay and own all of the rights and can make the full 40% rights on the books that I've published onto ACX or Audible. So I learned that there is such a thing as a picky reader, that is, readers who will only read in one format, including hardbacks. And many books do not come in hardbacks, so if you can put your books in hardbacks, you get an advantage on your competition. So I started going over to Lulu and putting my books out there and discovering that was the best route, since you don't have to come with an ISBN number and you can just simply order one proof. So for about $18, you can get your books out onto Lulu, which is a fantastic option, and I continue to get royalties every month from them as well. So the end result was that by having a huge distribution of a whole series of channels that I personally started using, I discovered that the total revenue started to jump, which gave me the ability to invest more money in the books that I'm coming out with, as well as other things that I'm doing, including the videos I'm creating right now, in order to help you avoid the mistakes that I made, because that's exactly what we're here for. So we'll move into our final here, the exact answers for the day, which is where to sell your self-published books in 2021. The first answer is you should definitely start with Kindle. KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing, is the correct starting spot for authors, indie authors, or authors who are trying to get self-published and want to make as much money as possible. So you should definitely start there. Until you've done that, as I tell all my students, don't talk to me about anything else. I don't care about marketing or anything else. You need to first get your book published on KDP. The next thing we do is KDP Print, and that is the next one to get our paperback versions. And if you're using Uto, I always recommend this is the one you should be using. It makes it easy just to click a button and you got your paperback version with a few extra clicks, but still, it's pretty easy. Then Audible, and I've discussed before how to find narrators and such. You can ask me about that. Then we move to Ingram Spark, which will cost a little bit more since you need your own ISBN, but depending upon which country you're in, you may be able to get it for free. Here in Norway, we get it for free. Then Lulu is the next one. That'll give you your hardback books, and Smashwords. And you might do Smashwords after KDP because you can simply use the EPUB version, which Uto quickly produces, and put it out onto Smashwords. It doesn't cost you anything. You just won't use KDP Select. That is to say, you're not allowing Amazon to only sell your Kindle book and only on their site. You're allowing you to sell the digital versions of your book on other sites as well. But initially, to get your initial reviews, you may wish to do free promos and stuff, so you'll need to be in KDP Select. So this one on Smashwords may need to wait 90 days. So that's just another tip that you will definitely want to do. But you'll notice we're going through a whole series of different routes here to maximize the number of places that our books will be found. And that brings us to our secret answer of the day, and that is the third answer. And the answer is you just do one thing at a time, starting with Kindle. And this is the thing that so many indie authors fail to do. They don't understand that you will lose money if you try to publish your book on all of these platforms at the same time, or spend too much time researching all of the different platforms. So number one, just get your book onto the market. Then you will start to see some sales coming in once we start running ads against it. And then we move over to these other platforms, and it is amazing. I can't tell you how many students I've seen where you suddenly start seeing the money coming in. It starts with a trickle, it starts to build up, and the excitement that comes with seeing people actually reading your book and maybe even commenting and writing back to you if you put your email into your book as you're building emails off of that. So this is a very powerful way of building an audience, of finding the audience wherever they are in whatever format that they wish to read your book. So this is something you're definitely going to want to consider when you're getting started with self-publishing. You're going to go, and in 2021, the rules have changed a little bit, but for the most part, this is still the path that I use personally. I have had a great deal of success using this exact path, and I would recommend that you also follow this path. So today's question is, are you having difficulty deciding where to publish your books? If you are, write yes below in the comments. If you are not, write no below in the comments. You can help me help you better on future videos. And check out above me here for more video answers to your self-publishing questions. Thanks.